Well, he truth be told, he only played 4 games last year. I mean, he was very successful. Threw for over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, and led Georgia to 4 victories. But yeah, I mean, until he goes out there and does it some more, there's still, I think, going to be some lingering questions about him. But I do think, though, I think he's a very cerebral quarterback. He's somebody who is really, taking control of the offense from the standpoint of being that leader. I mean, for example, back in May, I think it was, he took a bunch of his players out to California, all the receivers out to California, we went to work on that bonding and that sort of thing. So, again, there'll be a question until he gets it done. But Georgia, I know, is very happy with what he does. He knows Tom Monken's offense, backwards and forwards, and he's a guy who's prepared, I believe. He's just got to go out now and get it done. And it's going to be interesting to see again because as we just mentioned, he's going to be minus some weapons that would do him a lot of good if you had them.
Yeah, which is going to lead them to the running game. How are they stacked up right now with their offensive line and their running game, if in fact it's got to come to that to help carry them, especially in this Clemson game? Against a great defensive front.
Still trying to piece them, but they're still trying to figure out exactly what they're going to do on the front as far as left tackle goes. I mean, Jamari Salyer started 9 of 10 games last year. He's probably ultimately destined for guard, but I think in a game of this magnitude, you want somebody with experience at left tackle spot, so I think you'll see him there. The center, Warren Erickson, broke a bone in his hand, and he's got a cast right now, but he's a guy who can also snap with his right hand, so we'll see how that goes. Even if he doesn't not able to play, they still got Cedric Van Pran, who plays some of the true freshmen. They like him a lot too. But the running game, should be a real strength of the team. They're really, honestly, as deep there as they've been, since Kirby got there. Even when they had Nick Chubb and Sonny Michel, all these guys were either 4 or 5-star recruits. Zamir White is completely recovered from his ACL injuries. Kendall Milton's a sophomore who's got great potential, and James Cook. We just saw, what he did with, in the Alabama game last year. This guy who can catch the ball, can do things as a slot receiver. And then, Kenny McIntosh and Dijon Edwards, another guy who's effective. So they've got the back. It's just, again, a matter of that offensive line. I think Yelling and JT Daniels going in and playing like they think he can.
A lot of people would immediately, the first thing they think is that, well, JT Daniels and the kid, we'll just call him DJU. I don't know, ukulele. I don't know how you say his last name, but
I'm with you.
That's what I call him, ukulele. He looked real good against Notre Dame in his one start last year, so he definitely could do some things. But it seems like, to me at least, it seems like this game has more slobber knocker around it than it would be to be a big shootout. I feel like this could be a 21-17 type of game. Am I missing something, or is this going to be a big old shootout?
No, I'm with you, especially with the guys at Georgia that I don't think will have on offense, and plus the fact you look at Clemson. They're replacing their running game from last year. Tian, I can't say his name correctly today. Was really great for them, and there's still some question not about Justin Ross. I know he's back, but how effective is he going to be? So I definitely think this game will be a line of scrimmage contest in the Clemson. I don't think it's a stretch to say they're going to have the best defensive line that Georgia's going to see in the regular season. That's going to be a challenge for this young offensive front. So whoever wins that battle, I think is going to win this game. But I agree with you. I think it'll be like a 24-17 game, maybe an old-fashioned game that we haven't seen in the past few years. But it's going to be a good one.
I don't know. This is their whole season. I'm sitting there. I'm looking at their schedule right now. I don't know where they get even pushed a little bit. They avoid Notre Dame this year.
Yeah.
They're not on the schedule, and I keep going back and forth, scanning with my eyes. What is Florida State at home against Clemson going to be any kind of a problem? Florida State could be a better team and still be a 500 team with their brutal schedule. I don't know where Clemson gets a test the rest of the way. The Louisville game, Louisville's not what they were. South Carolina's not going to push them, not this year.
Maybe North Carolina. North Carolina might give them the best.
They don't have North Carolina. They don't have North Carolina on their schedule.
Yeah, I'm just talking about once the.
In the championship game, yeah.
Yeah. But regular season, no doubt. Yeah, they've got a very easy schedule, the rest of the way. So, this is a game I'm sure Clemson would love to go out and win easily and show the country that, hey, we are who we think we are. If it's a close game, or if they lose, and that could come back to haunt them a little bit if it comes down to say between a Clemson Ohio State, whoever, maybe for that fourth final playoff spot if they happen to lose this contest.
Yeah, if there are other one-loss teams, so we'll have to see how they how they're stacked up on that. What is the key for Georgia, though? What do they need to do in that game if they're going to come out of that game with a win, which would be great for the SEC and great for the Bulldogs, and set them up now for a good run? What do they need to do?
Well, like I said earlier, I think it comes down to controlling the line of scrimmage. If they do that, they're going to win the ball game. I think I think Georgia will be able to lean on this run game if they're able to do that. And as long as JT Daniels again executes, even with the some of these guys missing, like Washington, Eric Gilbert not being there, I think Georgia's going to win. It's going to be it's going to depend on what happens up front. I mean, there's no question about that.
For some reason, it feels like some fans are still not 100% in on Kirby Smart. They feel like he can't win the big one. I mean, he's not out there second and 26 blowing a coverage. That's a totally different. It's a totally different mindset. Just like there would have been with Mark Richt, right? If the kid doesn't catch the ball in the SEC championship game against Alabama on the 5-yard line and fall down, and they win that game, they beat the snot out of Notre Dame. They're national champions, and it's a totally different deal. So it could come down to one little moment in time. But how did a fan – I mean, what is a successful season for Georgia this year? Making it to the playoff, or is it you got to be the national champion? How will fans define this season as a success?
Well, the Georgia fans I deal with are talking playoffs. I mean, they really, everything is kind of something up for them this year with the players they've got returning, the schedules we've talked about before. And so, I think it's a playoff or bust season. Now, is it if they don't happen to accomplish that with Kirby Smart on the hot seat? No, absolutely not. But that's just kind of the way I think, fans are thinking right now. It looks all real pretty on paper, the way it looks at this point in time. But until Kirby wins the big one, there's always going to be that lingering, question. It's like there been any head coach. But that Alabama, gorilla is one he's got to find a way to get over. I think before, fans hopefully, and I'm not sure about Georgia fans, but I think fans maybe across the SEC, across the country finally, believe in Kirby Smart.
They beat Clemson. They have an excellent opportunity to be 8-0 in the league. They really do.
Yeah.
And they they can get to, even if they lost the SEC championship game, at that particular point in time, they're 12-1 team. There's no way they're keeping them out of the playoff. I mean, they don't have to win the SEC championship to get to the playoff, I don't believe.
Yeah, the way it's set up right now, I think you're right. I mean, they beat Clemson. I think Georgia finished the regular season undefeated, and unless the strings happen, you'll have that matchup with Alabama in the SEC title game. And as long as it's not a blowout, I think you can probably put both teams in there, much to the chagrin of maybe some of these other conferences across the country. But if Georgia wins this opening game, I mean it's wide open for them to have a great year.
I think Alabama has a tougher path actually to Atlanta, in as much as they go to Florida, they go to Texas A&M, they get LSU in their building, and of course the Iron Bowl. So I think there's a little bit more potholes along the way for Alabama. Alabama's liable to have one of those deals where they're 11-1 and they're 7-1 in the league, and somehow didn't, like Texas A&M beat them and ran the table, and they go to Atlanta, and Alabama still gets in the playoff, at 11-1 or something crazy like that. But who knows?
I don't think any question Alabama has a tougher road. Not saying they're a inferior team by any stretch of imagination, but their road, I think, is definitely tougher than what Georgia's is right now.
Yeah,
just because of that.
Yeah, no doubt. Anthony Dasher has been our guest. Anthony, I appreciate you so much. Continue doing a great job on the Georgia beat, and we'll reach out to you again.
We'll do it.
All right, man. Thank you. You look at, and then you can understand why. It's like people look at, and I did this in my Unleashed today. People look at Clemson being 1-7 to make the playoff, and Alabama's 1-4 to make the playoff. And you say, well, wait a minute. So Clemson is favored. Clemson is favored to win a national championship over Alabama. No, Alabama is the favorite to win the national championship. Clemson is a 1-7 favorite to get into the playoff, because Clemson. I mean, you look at Clemson after the Georgia game. Whatever happens in that Georgia game, South Carolina State, Georgia Tech, at NC State, Boston College, Syracuse, Pitt, Florida State at home, at Louisville, UConn, Wake Forest, at South Carolina. I mean, their only potential hiccup would be in the ACC championship game. It's that direct a path. Now, Alabama has that game against Miami. You say what you want. Miami, 18.5-point dog. I'd be inclined to take Miami. I think Alabama wins the game. They can win the game comfortably by 10 points. But people will be saying, well, wait a minute, they didn't cover. Is there something wrong with them? Of course, the layup with Mercer, but then you go to the Swamp. And then you get Ole Miss in 2 weeks later. And Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin and that offense, and they scored 1 million points last year against Alabama. It's not a layup. You don't look at the Ole Miss game and say, well, that's a pencil that one. It's not a layup. And then from the Ole Miss game, and then at the Ole Miss game, they might be thinking about going to Texas A&M, which is the following week. They better not take their eye off of Ole Miss. And then it's Texas A&M. Some people think that Mississippi State could create some sort of anxiety for Alabama. I don't. I'm not buying into Mississippi State. Then they get the Tennessee game at home. That's not nearly what it used to be, but LSU is still LSU. Who knows what LSU is by November 6th? Who knows where LSU is? LSU goes out to UCLA and wins that football game. What is heading LSU? They get Florida at home. They get Auburn at home. They have that game at Ole Miss. I honestly believe that LSU has an excellent opportunity to break out of the gate 7-0. I really do. They have that stretch where they have Auburn at home, then 2 Kentucky, and then Florida at home. But I think LSU's going to be favored in all 3 of those games, which means they would have to be upset to not be 7-0. Now, I have Ole Miss upsetting them. I'm high on Ole Miss. I got Ole Miss at 9-3. But I have LSU at 9-3, too. I have them losing in back-to-back weeks at Ole Miss, and then at Alabama, and then I have them getting beat by Texas A&M in the last game of the season. But, so that Ole Miss game isn't. And Auburn at Auburn is just always Auburn at Auburn. It's still the Iron Bowl. I know what it looks like right now. I know when you look at Auburn, you're thinking, good God, they might be 6-6. They could be 3-1 after their non-conference schedule. Auburn doesn't play a conference game until October 2nd, so their entire month of September is non-conference with a trip to Penn State in there. Then they go to LSU. Then they play Georgia. Then they go to Arkansas. That game at Arkansas for Auburn, that game is a defining game for both of those programs. Come home against Ole Miss. Go to A&M. Mississippi State they'll handle. South Carolina they handle. Iron Bowl. Auburn feels like a 6-6 team this year. But it's still Iron Bowl. All right, we're going to get the phone lines going. We have open lines the rest of the way. Nick Saban had some interesting thoughts regarding what scheduling should look like if when Oklahoma and Texas join the SEC. He talked about a couple of different scenarios. I'll share that with you next, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
Two former UFC champions will battle in the boxing ring next month. Former middleweight champion Anderson Silva will face former lightweight champ Tito Ortiz at the Staples Center in Los Angeles September 11th. Silva, coming off a boxing win over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., the favorite, minus 240, Ortiz plus 180. One NFL preseason game tonight, the Patriots and Eagles in Philadelphia. New England coming in a 1.5-point favorite, the over-under 38. Third-ranked middleweight Jared Cannonier and ninth-ranked middleweight Kelvin Gastelum will battle on the main card of UFC Fight Night Saturday in Las Vegas. Cannonier the minus 155 favorite, Gastelum plus 130.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If you need a car, McCurry Motors is ready to put you in a quality vehicle, and in-house financing is available. If you have a job, McCurry Motors will work with you even if you have a bankruptcy, divorce, or bad credit. Visit McCurrySaysYes.com. Every car comes with a warranty, and they report to the credit bureau. With 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens, call 256-230-0232, or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville. Call 256-713-0575.
Everybody knows the fun begins when you get to the end zone, where you can enjoy half-price apps every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, half-price burgers every Tuesday, plus late-night pizza specials and a spectacular menu that includes jumbo wings, half-pound burgers, Tex-Mex, and an incredible selection of craft beer, and plenty of big-screen TVs. It's all happening at the end zone, 1851 University Drive, 2030 Cecil Ashburn at Jones Valley Station, and coming in early 2022, Mid-City End Zone at 1115 McMurtry next to the Target Shopping Center.
It just works. Picture this. You're at home, doing whatever it is you do. Then, pow! The power goes out. Then what? Well, at my house, life goes on. We have a Generac automatic home standby generator from Current Electrical and Generator Services. For your home security and peace of mind, get a free personal consultation on how a Generac automatic home standby generator can protect you. Current Electrical and Generator Services. Call or visit us on the web at HuntsvilleGenerators.com. You've got the power.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code CAB for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill-up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code CAB for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CAB.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Orange is the color power of construction, the color of Kubota and Huntsville Tractor and Equipment. Those who need to get things done trust Kubota's mini excavators, compact track loaders, and the best keeps getting better with the all-new mini compact loader from one of the top dealers in the country. More than 50 years of family service, every part in the book, and folks who know what to do with them. You'll be seeing orange with Huntsville Tractor and Equipment.
Come on, let's go to work. From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky and scattered showers and thunderstorms will be the main themes of your Thursday afternoon. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the stronger end of the spectrum, but should still remain below severe limits. With that in mind, some very heavy rain, frequent thunder and lightning, and some gusty winds are going to be possible through a good majority of the afternoon. All of that said, temperatures really failed to warm up today. Highs only climbing into the lower 80s, dropping into the lower 70s as we head into the overnight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Be sure and join us today from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Yeah, welcome back to Thom Abraham Show. Phone lines are open. You want to jump in, you can do it right now. 256-576-4977. We'll get you in. 256-496 or 576-4977. Your text window is 732-982-7469. That will work as well. From the text window, to say Georgia will probably go undefeated if they beat Clemson, probably not. Look at Alabama since 2007, usually a slip-up somewhere. I'll agree with that in terms of usually a slip-up somewhere, but they are going to be heavily favored in every single game they play after that. They're a 3.5-point dog to Clemson. They get UAB. They get South Carolina at home. They get Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt. You can play them on the moon, doesn't matter. They get Arkansas at home to be a double-digit favorite. At Auburn. It's always problematic. They'll be a 6 or 7 point favorite probably at Auburn. Tough game. That's a game. It's at least a game. They get Kentucky at home. They're all right there. They get Florida. Florida beat them last year. Florida has a chance to get their act together by then with Emory Jones finally taking over at quarterback. We'll see how good Florida is. Cocktail party's cocktail party. They can win that game. Missouri at home, at Tennessee, a layup. Charleston Southern at Georgia Tech. You're going to be favored in every single game by more than a touchdown. Every single game. So if there is a slip-up, it will be an upset. Can that happen? Sure. Really, really difficult to go undefeated. Really difficult to go undefeated in the SEC. Absolutely can happen. But when you look at, it's like Alabama. The over and under for Alabama is 11.5 wins. 11.5. So the only way you make money on that bet is if they go 12-0 in the regular season. 12-0. That's it. That's your only option. With Miami and at Florida and Ole Miss and at Texas A&M and at Mississippi State and LSU and at Auburn. I mean, they got... All right, they're going to be double-digit favorites in every game. Right now, Alabama is a double-digit favorite in every single game except for Texas A&M on a look-ahead. They're a 9.5-point favorite at Texas A&M. But to just run out there and just predict it, that it's going to happen, that's tough to do. So Nick Saban, long-form article with Mark Schlabach of ESPN, got loose with some thoughts, particularly about scheduling when Oklahoma and Texas join the SEC. He was asked, how would you like to see the league structured once the Longhorns and Sooners are members? He said, quote, when you look at our league expanding, you're going to play more good teams in our league. You're going to have to lose more games. How does that affect people getting into playoff? If we're going to play 10 games in the SEC, which I would not be opposed to because I've always wanted to play more SEC games, you could play 2 divisions, and you could play 3 teams from the other side so that every 2.5 years you're going to play everybody. Let me stop right there. They're not going to do 10 games. 2.5 years you're going to play everybody. Let me stop right there. They're not going to do 10 games. 2.5 years you're going to play everybody. Let me stop right there. They're not going to do 10 games. 2.5 years you're going to play everybody. Let me stop right there. They're not going to do 10 games. 2.5 years you're going to play everybody. Let me stop right there. They're not going to do 10 games. 2.5 years you're going to play everybody. Let me stop right there. They're not going to do 10 games. 2.5 years you're going to play everybody. Let me stop right there. They're not going to do 10 games. 2.5 years you're going to play everybody. Let me stop right there. They're not going to do 10 games. 2.5 years you're going to play everybody. Let me stop right there. They're not going to do 10 games. 2.5 years you're going to play everybody. Let me stop right there. They're not We'd love it. How cool would that be? How cool would 10 conference games be in a 16-team conference? Would love it. Screw the rest of the country. Ain't nobody left out there to play anyway. Some Big Ten teams. I'd play 2 JV games. You play 2 cupcakes and 10 SEC games. Would love it. Can I get an amen?
10 SEC games.
Hey.
What are you doing?
You text the text window. You don't call the text window.
I thought that was me. I was like, what did I do? What did I do now?
No, that was somebody calling the text window.
They're trying to get on that Zoom call.
Let me give them the number, then I'll get your take. 256-576-4977. You call. Might have been Hollywood. You call the call-in number. You text the text line at 732-982-7469. I should have answered it. Unless it was you. It wasn't you.
No, it wasn't me. I was just trying to say, I was going to say 10 SEC games. Give me 2 out-of-conference games that, actually matter. And then maybe, I don't even know. I can't even think. Maybe a cupcake here or there or 2 cupcakes. Give me something like that or something. That would be cool.
Well, wait a minute. You just did
14
regular
right?
season games.
So where are we at?
We got 12 games.
So that's what I said. Season. I said the two instead of a cupcake.
You said 10 SEC games. Go back to the tape. You said 10 SEC games.
Right.
2 cupcakes and 2 good non-conference games.
Okay. So if I can't get my 2 non-conference games, I would say 2 cupcakes. But give me 2.
I agree with that.
Give me 2 non-conference games and then the 10 SEC games. That would be sweet.
What kind of non-conference games?
Cupcakes? Give me no, not like I said. If I can't get cupcakes,
so no cupcakes.
No cupcakes. Make it legit. We want to sit here and make these.
Yeah, but you got to play. You got to have a chance to shake your team down. There's no preseason, and you got to have a way of paying those teams.
I get that, but
you need a JV game.
But there's nothing like that in the NFL because, in the NFL, it's unless a team is down or whatever, and you might just get them one year.
Games.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They play preseason games where you can get young guys some PT. You got to give a chance for the young guys to play a little bit. I would go now if you said 1 cupcake and 1 non-conference game, but the conference has gotten so big and it's so good. Do we really need that game? That's all I'm saying. Anyway, he went on to say, I think we'll get 9 conference games. We're not going to get 10 conference games.
We'll never have that again. I guess that was just a COVID thing.
Yeah. He says if you're going to stay at 8 or even 9, then they should do the pods of 4 teams. So you're only going to have 3 fixed opponents, and you would be playing 5 or 6 teams from the other regions or pods. You would play everybody in 3 years. I am going to disagree with the estimable coach on that one. If you have 9 games, all right, conference games, you have 2 non-divisional games. Forget no more crossover guaranteed, crossover game. So you would have, if you played 9, what you would have is you'd have 7 teams that you're playing in your division, and then you play 2 crossover games. And it would take you 4 years to circulate through the entire other division. So in other words, in a kid's 4-year commitment, all right, assuming some will leave at 3, some will take 5 to play for, right? So in a 4-year wheel, you'll see every team in the league. Not home and home, but you'll see everybody in the league. That's a lot better than what we got now. You got teams playing teams now they don't see them for 10 years. All right? If you go to the 4 pods, how in the hell are you going to come up with the teams that go to Atlanta with 4 divisions? How do you do that? If you got 4 divisions, how do you come up with the team, the 2? You're going to just take the 2 best records? You have tiebreakers out the yin yang?
Do they do that kind of thing like they do in the NFL, where the next year the third place team plays the third place team of a division that year? And maybe,
no, they would just rotate through to make sure everybody's playing everybody.
I thought maybe they would make it a little bit not easier, but try to make it somewhat legit where you're playing your four legit teams in your pod, but then you're going to get that circulation of different
there's 3,
games.
Right? There's 3 other teams in your pod. So you play those 3 teams
outside of your pod.
But then outside of your pod, then you've got the other people that are in there. I don't like the pod thing.
So that's only 3, 3 real games, and then whatever you got to fill in the rest.
And then you're rotating, and you see everybody, But to me, if you saw everybody in 4 years, that's fine. That's fine. It's so much better than what we got now.
Yeah.
Get rid of the crossover game, and then that's it. All right? Just see everybody in 4 years, you see everybody over there. So Schleybaugh went on to ask him, if SEC teams are playing 9 or 10 SEC games and the playoff is expanded, that means there will be less opportunities for a group of 5 and FCS program to schedule guaranteed games which supplement a large portion of the athletic budget. Does that concern you? In other words, he's saying, are you going to play the Cupcakes? The Cupcakes need that money to build their kitchen. They get no money. He said this, Saban said, I'm not even opposed to giving them money so they can have programs. Let me stop right there. So what Nick Saban is saying is that he wouldn't be opposed to the Power 5 teams supplementing the group of 5 teams. Don't even play the game, but go ahead and give them the money anyway, out of the money that they're making on the group of 5 games. Play a group of 5 game, give the money to the, give the charity money to the group of 5. He went on to say, no one wants to come to some of these games. And the players are getting to the point where they don't want to play in these games. Just like players don't want to play in bowl games. How many players opt out of bowl games? How many players did Florida have that didn't play in a bowl game last year? None of that is good for college football, and I don't think it's good for the kids either. The revenue sharing part, that's not going to be able to have programs if we don't play these schools. If they don't get $1.6 million for coming to play these games, they probably couldn't sustain their program. Again, you're just going to keep minimizing opportunities for players to play. I'm not really wanting to play those schools, but they need to get some money. We still need to have to do some kind of revenue sharing with them, or they're not going to have programs. Nobody is going to want to do that, but then you're going to have a bunch of kids that don't get an opportunity to go to college or get scholarships and have an opportunity to play. I don't think that everybody looks at the whole picture. They say, okay, you're making all of this money, but they don't look at where all the money is going. That is a really interesting concept. What he's saying is that, look, you go ahead, we're going to go ahead and play these games against Power 5 teams, but screw it. We're not going to have, that's an interesting concept. So what Saban is saying is what you said. He's saying he doesn't want to play any cup. He played 10 regular season games and 2 non-conference games against group of 5 teams.
Yeah.
He's kind of like got that NFL mentality. He's like, let's just go. Let's just play all good on good. The kids want good on good. The fans want good on good. Nobody wants to go to that game anymore against Western Kentucky or against Georgia State. But I will say this about that. Why do they keep scheduling 3 of them then? Why does Alabama continue to schedule 3 of them every year? Why don't they put their money where their mouth is and schedule 2? We have seen other programs do it. We have seen Georgia play, 2, because Georgia always has Georgia Tech. This year, Georgia's playing Georgia Tech and Clemson. You might say, well, Georgia Tech's not great. I don't care. They're from the ACC.
Yeah.
Georgia only has what I don't consider the Georgia Tech game a cupcake game.
No.
I don't even, be honest with you, I'm not even 100% sure that UAB is a cupcake game for Georgia. Vanderbilt's more of a cupcake game for Georgia. But they have got Charleston Southern. That's a true cupcake game. And UAB, which is a good group of 5 team. And they got Clemson and Georgia Tech. Now, Florida's playing Florida Atlantic, South Florida in their non-conference, Samford, and then Florida State. So they have basically 3 quasi-cupcakes. FAU and South Florida, I think, are decent group of 5 teams. Auburn is playing Akron and Alabama State and Georgia State. To me, those are real cupcakes. Mercer for Alabama is a real cupcake. New Mexico State, Southern Miss. These are cupcakes. Akron, Alabama State, and Georgia State, super cupcakes. But you don't have to play. You don't have to play 3 of them. I mean, Kentucky plays UT Chattanooga, Louisiana Monroe, New Mexico State, and then their game against Louisville. Maybe they ought to break these things down to just, 2 cupcakes. The 3 is what's bothering me, I think. All right, phone lines are open if you want to jump in. You can do that. 256-576-4977. Or do you like those games? Is that an opportunity for somebody to go to a game? I know the first Alabama game that my son went to, who ended up going to Alabama and ended up on the sidelines with Alabama. But the first Alabama game he was able to go to as a kid was MTSU at Alabama. All right, if you want in, go ahead and get in. It's Thom Abraham Show. Back with more after this on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Switching season is back at WOW. Get super fast, extra reliable Internet 100 for just $19.99 a month. Plus, ask how to get $200 on us. Sign up at wowie.com today.
Wow.
Limited to new customers with auto pay and paperless billing. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Two Maids and a Mop. That's all you need to know to clean house. Two Maids and a Mop is an award-winning company, bonded and insured. Hire them for yourself, or they have gift cards if you want to make someone else's day. Find out more online at twomaidshuntsville.com. A maid service worth talking about. Two Maids and a Mop take care of everything. They supply all the cleaning equipment needed. Call 256-883-6243. The only finger you'll need to lift is the one to call them.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
In today's real estate market, you need the right professionals to help make sure your home purchase is smooth and hassle-free. That's where Jacob Title comes in. Stan McDonald and the staff at Jacob Title cater to the realtor and clients who are looking for a top-flight closing experience. Jacob Title uses the latest and best technologies to ensure a safe and secure exchange of funds, and they pride themselves on great communication well before and during the real estate closing process. Jacob Title in Huntsville and Madison, and online at jacobtitle.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. The electrical panel is the heart of your home's electrical system. Malfunctions can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk or in the dark altogether. Fixing it quickly will help keep you and your family safe. So trust our team of electrical experts at Mr. Sparky to get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 977 ESPN The Zone.
People stay just a little bit longer. We want to play just a little bit longer. The promoter don't
We got a little bit longer. Segment brought to you by TOC Sports. TOC Sports, for all your injury needs, it's TOC Sports. They will get you fixed up and get you out there and better than new, better than ever. All right, TOC Sports, the docs at TOC Sports been taking care of this valley for well over 20 years. I mean, they're all over the valley, so go in there and check them out. And they'll be busy over the next couple of nights. That's for sure. With the high school football getting started in earnest, they will be all over the place. And we remind you that Madison Academy football will be on our air on Friday night. And on Zone 2, we'll have Huntsville High football coming up on Friday night as well. So our new streaming service for you, Zone 2, that you can find at the app and you can find online. You want to listen to the Huntsville High Panthers, you can do it right there at Zone 2. We will have that game for you. Drew DeArmond will be on that game as well. Austin Collette on the play-by-play. Drew DeArmond on the color there. And, of course, Steve Moulton on the Madison Academy games as well. So we got plenty of that. And don't forget, Friday night, the high school score, North Alabama High School Scoreboard Show with Scott Tyson, and of course Grizz will be involved in that as well. And they've got a cast of 10s from all around the region that'll be calling in and so on from various games. So the only place you need to be on a Friday night is 97.7 ESPN, 97.7 ESPN.com. Rip the knobs off and just listen to all your high school football action, and you can get it right here. All right, let's get to the lines. Lines are open right now, 256-576-4977. Scott is up first. Scott might be new meat. I'm not sure. Scott, welcome to the show. Have you been on this show before, Scott?
I have not been on your show, and I just want to say, hey, I really appreciate it. I love listening to it. I don't get the chance to listen every day because of my workspace, but I enjoy it every time I get a chance to.
Well, we got something for new meat, that call into the show. We got a guy in the corner. Woo! There we go. We have to dig him out. I mean, he's got nothing to do now, you know what I mean? So we break him out whenever we get some new. Now, tell me something about you, Scott, because we got guys that are Scott, but I mean, I usually give a guy a handle. So, I mean, are you Roll Tide, War Eagle, you from some other part of the country? Where are you at?
Oh, yeah. No, I was born and raised here. I'm an Alabama guy.
Okay. All right. So what's on your mind?
Yeah. So I heard you talking earlier about the non-conference scheduling with the SEC. If we move to 10 games and that sort of stuff, and I can only really speak from an Alabama perspective because I follow that. But if you look at the trend that they've been going through early on, it was the one big off-campus neutral site kind of matchup at the beginning of the year. That model been in existence for, say, 10 years now. But if you look at the way the scheduling has progressed, they're starting to do more home and aways with Power 5 teams, Texas, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech. And some of those, especially in the late 20s and early 30s, they start to become two of those Power 5 matchups every season. And the point I was just trying to make is, these things take multiple years to kind of get in place. Like if Alabama had a weekend open, say this weekend, there's no Power 5 team that probably has a similar weekend to line up. So that's why they take 3 or 4 years for those to start to cycle. And I see that trend happening with Alabama, at least, that we're moving more toward that, gearing toward 9 or 10 conference games and try to get 2 Power 5 home and away games.
And I'm not sure if it was about gearing towards 10 conference games, maybe 9, but I think what the tea leaves that they were reading is that we're going to get the playoff expansion. So I think that was starting to look at it and say, you know what, we can go ahead and get a little riskier with the schedule and get that playoff expansion. What I find interesting is that, remember, next year they play Texas at Texas next year. And so I don't think Texas and Oklahoma are coming over next year, but you never know. But they play Texas the next 2 years. They may not play Texas when Texas is an SEC opponent. They may not play Texas in back-to-back years for a long, long time, but they'll play Texas in 22 at Texas, and they'll play Texas at home in 2023. So I'm looking forward to more and more of these games being on campus. It'll be interesting to see if it actually ends up happening that way. But in 2024 right now, they've got the Wisconsin game, and, as a quote-unquote non-cupcake game. In 25, they've got Florida State and Wisconsin. So that's what you're talking about. 2026, they got West Virginia and Florida State. So, yeah, they're picking up some serious non-conference action starting about 2025 in terms of a couple a year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And as a fan, when they started doing those beginning season high-ranking matchup, neutral site games, I was really excited about that because it had gotten kind of dull. We'd gotten out of the cycle of doing Power 5 home and aways.
Right.
But now that's kind of run its course. So I'm really excited about the future, especially with Alabama scheduling on some of these home and aways, because as a traveling fan, I'm really looking forward to going to Austin, Texas, and checking out their campus and seeing what it's about there, and going to Norman, Oklahoma, and these places. So that's really a positive from my perspective. So anyway, I just wanted to call and share my thoughts, and I really appreciate the show. I don't get to listen all the time, but keep doing what you're doing, man. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Bama Scott getting in. It's a good job by him. I hope that none of these games get moved. Like the 2023 game is supposed to be at home on September 9th against Texas. Now, is there any guarantee that game doesn't get moved someplace? I don't know. I hope not. I hope it's guaranteed to be at home. But, yeah, I mean, seeing Alabama play at Wisconsin in 2024 on September 14th, that's kind of cool, man. Seeing Alabama not playing Florida State in Jacksonville, but playing Florida State in Tallahassee, and then having Florida State in Tuscaloosa in 2026, that's kind of cool. 2027, Alabama plays at Ohio State. 2028, Ohio State in Tuscaloosa. Kind of cool. Now, 2027, they got West Virginia and Ohio State. 2028, they got Ohio State at home at Oklahoma State. All right, back to the lines. Brandon is up next. Is that our Brandon? Brandon.
Well, it's Brandon from yesterday who ended up winning the tickets.
Oh, Brandon who won the tickets yesterday. All right. Not Brandon who sent the text message he wants Alabama to play all three service academies and do away with cupcake games. He wants Alabama to play Air Force, Navy, and Army, and there'll be 3 guguaranteed sellouts. That's what Brandon thinks.
That sounds pretty cool.
Those are cupcake games, though, for Alabama. But, I mean, they I don't know.
Army game might be pretty decent.
Yeah.
Because they're just going to be running the ball, and I'm like, Georgia.
Yeah.
Was it Georgia Southern? So
yeah, Alabama beat Army by 30. All right, Brandon Pruitt, who won the ticket. So is he Trash Panda Brandon now? I don't know. Brandon, welcome to the show. How are you?
Yeah, that's fine. I can do Trash Panda Brandon or Tighten Up Brandon or Go Vols Brandon or whatever you want to call me, man.
Wait a minute. Your name is Pruitt, and you're a Vols fan. No relation, though.
Yeah.
No relation, right?
No relation. No relation. Whoa! There we go. I was hoping I'd get there.
So it wasn't you that said.
I can assure you that the gap is closing.
So you're not that Pruitt. Just want to make sure.
No, I'm not. Actually, so I was talking about the cupcake games. I was actually back in 99 and 2000, what they called a invited walk-on.
Yeah.
To the University of Tennessee. I'm not sure if they have another name for that now, or if they still call it that, or whatever. But man, that was the cupcake games was my time to actually put on the jersey and get to go out on the sidelines and run out of the tee and get to enjoy some of that kind of stuff, because the SEC games, they only have X amount of players on the sideline kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, they still call it. It's a preferred walk-on, is what you were.
Is that what you have to pay?
They call it a preferred walk-on. Pay what?
I thought you pay to play. Like you don't get all the obviously, like
if you want.
You don't get all the perks of like being a scholarship athlete or whatever, but you still have
preferred
to
walk-on.
Yeah.
No, the only thing you don't have is
I saw
a
some behind the
scholarship.
scenes on that kind of stuff.
You don't pay anybody.
No,
You-
I'm not
you
saying
just
you pay. Like, you know what I mean?
pay for your tuition.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
you're basically
that's what a
paying to
walk-on-
play. Yeah.
That's what a walk-on
Well,
is.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
A preferred walk-on means that not just a walk-on. A preferred walk-on is you invite them to come in. They don't get a scully, but they get all the benefits of being on. They're on the team. They're part of the team.
So that must be where my cousin was, because that was awesome.
Yeah, I got the perks of getting to go to 2-a-day practice and
And your knob whaled.
and
Yeah.
and then also I got to go to the Fiesta Bowl and get all the good merch that the Fiesta Bowl came
Swag,
with, so that was
good
cool.
swag from the game. That's good
Yeah.
stuff. Get to get your knob whaled every day in practice, which is good. You know, and you
Yeah,
get out there
that's
like
right,
Rudy.
that's right.
Yeah, like Rudy was
Yeah.
for Notre Dame. You go out there and you get your head kicked in, and then but yet you are. But there, listen, nobody can ever take away that you ran through the T, and nobody can ever take away that you are a former Tennessee Volunteer. I mean, you're a volunteer player. I mean, you can't take that away from you.
Right, yeah. And I got to go and see Nebraska whoop our butts, and the Nebraska players have my name on the back, and fans, scream my name out, and talk about me and Fat Phil's my daddy and that kind of stuff.
There
So,
you
yeah,
go.
It was great.
All right, I'm glossing you. Not that Pruitt. That's your name now. So next time you call,
Not
just
that Pruitt. Hey,
not that
that-
Pruitt. All right, that's your handle. I appreciate you. Good job by you, Brandon. Just call him not that Pruitt.
That's a good one right there.
I can assure you that the gap is closing.
He's closer to winning a game than that other Pruitt was. All right, that's going to do it for us. Coming up next is Chuck Oliver, followed by Paul Feinbaum, and then The Drive. All right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Tom Luganbill here for Woody Anderson Ford. When I was in the Tennessee Valley, one of the things that impressed me the most was the quality of the people. People like Bobby White and his team at Woody Anderson Ford. And now you can experience the tremendous new service lanes and showroom at Woody Anderson Ford at Jordan and Sparkman, or just stop by for breakfast or lunch at Henry's Mustang Cafe.